check out the set of scales I'm working on today. Mammoth tusk with a mammoth tooth inlay, black G10 liners and spacers. Shoo, that's gonna be cool. All right, guys, a little different video today. I'm just gonna kind of show you what I'm working on. It's Saturday. A lot of times I try to get to where Saturday or Sunday is kind of my prep day for the next week. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today a little bit, show you kind of my, I guess you'd call it my workflow, what I try to accomplish every week as far as getting knives done. And a lot of it is just fixing all these weird little problems I run into. So I've got the even heat running right now. I'm heat treating 2 MagnaCut blades. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that and just what I have planned for the week. Come along if you're interested in checking it out. Well, guys, thanks for coming back and watching another video. Today is, like I said, just kind of a get organized day. Make sure everything's prepped and ready to rock for tomorrow, which is Sunday. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to doing all these custom orders and trying to stay on top of everything, be able to make knives efficiently to where I'm not spending way too much time and not making money on doing this. So that's what I wanted to kind of share with you guys a little bit today. Also, I want to apologize. The even heat is running right now. That clicking you're hearing is that relay or whatever you want to call it that's keeping it at temp. I'm heat treating 2 MagnaCut blades right now because in the batch I just did, I had some problems with the Trekker T MagnaCut ones that I just did that I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So redoing those, getting some scales prepped, and just trying to plan my next week to where everything's efficient and it goes smooth. So what I try to do is kind of plan out my next week's blades, what I'm going to work on. And these are already heat treated, surface ground, and I've already got my layout die on them and my center scribe line in. See if it'll show up. Probably not. But that way I kind of have a game plan for what I'm going to be working on. Now I try to get done around 6 knives a week, depending on, you know, what steel they are and all that stuff has a lot to come into it. But you can see I've been working on some really cool scales. These are mammoth tusk as well. I added some G10 liners to those and I put these together. Now, what I wanted to talk about today is how knife making is like, the more you do it, the more you realize that it's a lot of just trying to figure out little tiny problems, correcting them, and making a good knife out of it. It's like the more knives you make, the more of these little problems you run into. And that's why I do a lot of these videos, because I like to show some really detailed things that if I would have known a long time ago, it would have saved me a lot of time and energy. And hopefully that's why you watch these videos, to save some time. I'm just about ready to plate quench. It's been in for 15 minutes, 16 minutes. So I've got about 4 minutes before I plate quench these. But like, for example, I put together this set of scales, okay? The lighting's not good right here, but this is mammoth tusk on both sides with an angled mammoth tooth inlay. Now, if you guys have messed with this stuff, you know machining it is just a total pain. And you have to have a certain level of confidence to be able to build these scales, because if I mess these up, it's probably about $300 worth of materials down the drain. Now that they're already shaped, I've got everything set on them really good. You can see they're good and even. I'm looking at them and there's imperfections in this mammoth tusk, and I wanted to show you guys a little bit. So if you look at the end of it, you can see that clear as day. See that slot right there? And there's like a gap, and where either when these were stabilized, the resin didn't penetrate in there good enough, or whatever it is. But what I like to do with these, and also with a lot of the real heavy burly or spalted wood, is I use this stuff right here, Starbond, what is it called? Black medium thick CA glue, and this is dyed black. And what I'll do is I'll find all those voids and just try to fill them as good as possible before I start working them. And you can see right here, there's one right in the middle here that will be a problem. You might not be able to see it, but stuff like that, just trying to make it to where when you're in the mode of getting these handles put on, shaping these handles, you don't have to slow down and fix problems because it just totally ruins everything. Like I said, I get to where I try to do at least 6 knives a week, and these are all custom orders, different knife designs, different handle materials, different pins, all this stuff. And if one knife gets messed up in that batch, it just throws my whole thing off. So that's why at least once a week, I try to spend the time to make sure everything is set up for success for that next week. That way I don't run into any problems. But anyways, come over with me right here, you guys. I'm gonna heat treat this MagnaCut and show you how it's done and explain a little bit about that real quick while we're out here today. All right, so I gotta do this kind of quick. It's been 19 minutes. So what I do this at is a 2050 degree soak for roughly 20 minutes. And this is just with the MagnaCut. I go a little bit cooler for my 440C. I normally do that around 1950 for anybody that cares. So this one, we're gonna go right into the plates. I'm gonna air cool it. So I'll cut the sound out for you guys, and then I'll talk a little bit about that before we go into temper. And this thing is hot. So right into the plates, as fast as possible. And if you want to know how I did this plate quench thing, I made a video on it. So we're going to go right to the air gun, get this cooled off. All right, so there we go. Heat treated, still in the little stainless foil pouch. Still a little hot, but let's check this out. See how it's looking. Now, MagnaCut heat treat's really nice. If you guys haven't tried it out yet. What I'm doing with this, like I said, 2050 degrees for about a 20-minute soak. And then I'll do a 350 degree temper, which gets me right around 61 Rockwell hardness, which is, in my opinion, perfect. Holds just a wicked edge. Still really tough, durable. Any higher than that, I feel like, I mean, you're probably not gonna have any problems with it if you're careful, but I like to be at a safe range to where if somebody does drop this knife, it's not gonna cause a bunch of problems for them down the road. So that's why I try to shoot for right around 61. Now, like I said, it is still pretty hot, but got some kind of cool coloration on there. Double check that it's good and straight, which is a really nice thing about those plates is they pretty much always stay nice and straight. And that looks really, really good. And I can tell it's super hard, so that's that. We're good to go. I wanted to get these heat treated today. Normally, I'm sure you guys have seen me do it in the past. My heat treat day, I do about 25 to 30 knives in a day. That way I'm not starting this oven up multiple times a month to, because it's expensive to run this thing. So it's kind of rare for me to do 2 knives, and that's kind of why I wanted to film it with you guys, because I did have a problem with, and I tried to show it earlier in the video, but basically these Trekker H's and my Trekker T's that I'm working on right now, I have water jet cut out. And I think what happened, I've almost had no problems with water jet, but it's gonna be really hard to show you guys, but I'll at least try. The spine of a couple of these got cut on the water jet at an angle, not this severe, okay, but at an angle enough to where when I was starting to clean up the flats of the spine of the knife, as you can see, this has the jimping in the top that I have water jet cut in on this design. And when I was cleaning that up, since the cut was made at an angle, and I don't know what causes that with the water jet, whether it's because MagnaCut is so tough to cut, or I don't know enough about the water jet system to know why that did that. I haven't really ran into this problem, but it cut it at an angle. So what happened when I was cleaning up the spine, I noticed the jimping was way thicker on one side because of how it cut it in. So I was just about, today I was actually gonna try to get these ground. I noticed that was a problem, and so I thought, well, let's just start over and get 2 new ones, and luckily these ones are good to go. But that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, because there's a lot of people that probably would say, wow, Matt, you're being really picky about this, you know what I mean? And why it's not a big deal, you know, but I think that there's a level that is expected when somebody orders one of my knives that I'm not happy with that. And, you know, you guys might look at that and think nobody is ever going to notice that or whatever, but there's so many little things. I think that if you do pay close attention to those kind of things, your work is just going to get better and better and better. And letting less imperfections like that slide is what's going to really make you excel, I think. That's at least my 2-cent opinion on it. So that's why I threw 2 more of those in the oven, got those heat treated successfully. That one's still really hot. So now we're gonna throw those in a temper, like I said, for at about 350 degrees for 2 2-hour cycles. And those will be ready to grind tomorrow. Holy cow. That is, super hard. So those are ready for temper. Let me know if you guys want me to make more of these kind of videos. Like I said, this is kind of I'm kind of laid back. I'm not stressed out. I'm not trying to get a bunch done today. I'm just trying to get caught up, talk with you guys a little bit. Again, I really appreciate you guys that watch this channel. I think that it's been really fun for me. I got a lot of support on this new Patreon thing. A lot of people have talked to me about it and thought it was a cool idea. And I just think that it's fun, and it gives me a way to communicate with a lot of people and, you know, go over ideas. I get a lot of ideas from you guys all the time. Every time I post a video, somebody will chime in and say, why don't you try to do it this way or that way and this and that, and that. It's awesome. It all makes me better and hopefully makes you guys better at making stuff at the end of the day. So I think that's going to be it for today. I talked about all these problems, and I think if you make knives and you're not running into these problems, man, tell me your secret, because it seems like about 90% of what I do is fixing little funny mistakes to in turn make a really nice product. So next week you'll be seeing a bunch of these knives getting finished up over on Instagram. If you're not following me, make sure you do it. And like always, guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you want to support me over on Patreon, link below to check that out. It's only $5 and it means a lot. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of scales glued up over here that I didn't show you guys. Those are all for these builds as well. So prep day, actually it's, what is it? 2 o'clock. I'm pretty much going to call it a day. Start to work tomorrow. All right, guys, have a good one.